Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new F1 Esports video. This is round number 9 around Circuit of the Americas in Texas, and after this we still have Brazil, Mexico and Abu Dhabi. Don't have the driver standings pre-race of this one. I will have them after this race. But yeah, let's head into Q1, and as you can see on the top right, no lap time has been set yet, no competitive lap time. This is our first lap on the slicks. 1 minute 40 remaining, and that's because it's a drying up track. So it's all gonna come down to this final lap, and track limits are very tricky around here. A lot of corners you can invalidate. Apex turn 1, then the wall S section, apex for the next left-hander, the left-hander after. Final 2 corners are tricky on the apex and the exit, so yeah, a lot of pressure on this one. No mistakes can be made at the same time, racing against the best 19 F1 Esports drivers in the world, the best on this game. And as you can see, we've got some interesting tire warming strategies right there again. So yeah, we are going to get one chance at this, and we want to be as late as possible starting our lap. And that is due to the fact that this track is still improving. 48 seconds as we head into the final sector, and we're really backing off here to be as late as possible. I would rather be a little bit late to on our outlap so we can push a little bit in the final few corners. But as you can see, the entire grid, 18 people are within 3 seconds of each other, or within 200-300 meters. Everyone wants to be last, and obviously 20 cars still have to start, or 18 cars still have to start the lap with 15 seconds to go. We're trying to be a little bit naughty here, but everyone is going to be able to cross the line. And yeah, one shot at this. We've done a lap on the intermediates, I think, so not really competitive, because I didn't want to lose my feel for the slick tires. Through turn 1 we go, and we're already a second up on our intermediate lap, and that shows that no matter if you're P1 or P18 on your intermediate lap, it's all just gonna come down to this lap in the end anyway. And we have to be clean, but we have to be fast as well. Through the S section we go, and that felt really nice, really clean. Didn't set up the exit too well here, but it didn't matter. We carried so much speed through there that we gained a lot of lap time. Braking for the next left-hander. Little flick, of course, just like we've done on F124 as well, to try and get the car to slow down a little bit extra. Into the final corner of Sector 2. Brake as late as possible, and then we have to cut the inside as much as possible as well. But we have to be clean with it. We cannot invalidate, because otherwise we're going to be starting down in P18 or P17. Into the final sector we go. I think we've gained a little bit of time to Julian Klaverbock. Otis Lawrence has to overtake someone on his lap, I think, so he's driving in another car. That's never really ideal. But into the final 2 corners we go. We're gonna run out of the ploy here well before the end. And in the final corner we go. It's gonna be a 132.33, and that puts us P4 as the last car crosses the line, and that is easily through into Q2. It's actually P5 as the last car crossed the line, but lap time is way off the pace. Yeah, the track was just drying up more and more there in the end. We're just under 2/10 away from P1. Joris Cruz and Alfie Butcher and Ruben Pedreño out in Q1. Yeah, we just had to get a clean lap in, but it's still relatively close for such a slippery track. Wall grid within 4.5 tenths from P15 to P1. So, into Q2 we go. Dry track, and a quick little flick as we head into Sector 3. This is our first fully dry track. I did a quick little outlap and started a lap on used tires just to get a better feel for the dry conditions again. And this is our first new tire run. So this is the first representative one. Into the second last corner we go, and that was clean. Maybe not quite enough speed carried, but it was clean, no invalidations, and it's a 29.872, around 2/10 off P1. We have to go again because that lap will not be enough to make it into Q3. We have to improve by at least half a tenth to a tenth, I reckon. So full push once again. It's a long track, so making up a tenth or 2 tenths is not that hard. At the same time, there's also a lot of corners where it can go wrong and where you can lose time relative to a perfect lap. Through the S section we go, equal to our previous lap. But again, maybe there was a little mistake somewhere in the previous lap where we can gain a lot of time. Could exit out of the S section, and we're going to be 200s up as we head into the next left-hand, a crucial corner, low speed on the apex, which means you can gain a lot of lap time there. But then we've got a huge exit as well, so you cannot compromise that because you end up losing so much time. Into the next left-hander we go. Late on the brakes. Again, important to carry speed. Not a long exit, and we are 110 up as we head into the final sector of this lap. Little bit of a moment there on the exit, and that cost us some time. We set up the next left-hander well, though. Good exit. Again, you can see how much we gained there. To the next right-hander, and now probably the most difficult corner on the track coming up. Very fast left-hander, easy to invalidate, but it is clean. Carried more speed than on the previous lap, and another 3/400ths gain through the final corner, taking it easy, because if we make it clean, we will make it through. Even with a 1.3 improvement, still a little bit away from P1, as you can see there, around 1/10. Actually, as Ismail Fassi crossed the line, he did an insane lap at 29.501. Over 10th clear to everyone else. I remember last year on the F124 game, I did the exact same in Esports. Went P1 in Q2, I think by 2/10, and then we didn't get pole. And that's just how it goes sometimes. You're in such a nice flow. Everything goes right, and then on the lap after, the balance slightly changes from exactly how you want it to being too much understeer in the final run of Q3, and yeah, you just end up with a slightly less better lap time, and everyone else drives better on their final lap in Q3, and suddenly you're starting P5 or P6. So, first run in Q3. New set of tires, again, nearly invalid there, as I understood off the track. A bit of bottoming there as well, and that's so annoying about these ground effect cars. You have to run them so low to the ground, and then when you carry a little bit more entry speed, because you felt like you had the grip on the previous lap, you bottom more and you just go straight on out of nowhere. So, final run in Q3. This is the one where it matters anyway. We're only P9 at the moment, but it's full push. That's the mentality I had going into this lap. Maximum attack, nothing to lose, only everything to gain. We are not P1 in the standings at the moment. We have to gain, and we're going maximum attack, and unfortunately just hit the curb wrong. And yeah, that just happened sometime, but you have to cut the curb. And I've done that 100 times, and then out of those 100 times, 10 or 20 times, you hit it wrong. You bottom out, and you lose the rear. But that's just what we had to do, maximum attack. And we end in P10 there at the end of Q3, unfortunately. But nothing lost yet. We're going to be starting on the hards. 3 people only ahead of us on the hards as well. So this could get interesting. Barry Berman on the mediums on our right. 5 red lights, and away we go into turn 1. We got a better start than Ismail Fassi, so maybe we can have a little go down the inside. We go down the middle, locked the rear a little bit, so I backed out. But unfortunately, Ulas Zildrim got tapped around there, and we've lost so many positions. Down to P16 we go. We got a car on our inside there, and this is very frustrating. We were the 3rd runner on the hards, and now we've dropped all the way down the order. Julian Klaffenbach overtakes us on the mediums, and we've dropped all the way down the order. We've lost 7 positions rather than gaining 1 or 2. And yeah, maybe going up to the 2nd or 3rd hard runner. We've now all the way at the back of the field, and yeah, this is very tough because this race we kind of needed to score big. Because if we end up in a scenario where Otis wins again, we end up in P9 or P8, which even from here, where we are now, would be a decent result because we would have to overtake like 8 cars, 9 cars to score some decent points. If Otis wins, then we lose again like 18 points. By then, we're going to be like 40 points behind. And in 3 races, we would basically have to win all the races in order to catch up for that. And even though it's not impossible, it is very unlikely. So yeah, end of lap 1. Terrible opening lap. And yeah, all the way down to P17. It is what it is. We need to try and make the most out of it. End of lap 6, and the first people have started to box very early. And yeah, that undercut is going to be very minimal, but it's what they need to do. If you're like in P6, P7, P5, and you want to get onto the podium, you can take that risk for quite a big point gain. And lap 7, more people coming into the pits for the undercut. We are staying out though. Of course, we're on the hards, and yeah, we need to go long. As long as we can, ideally. Our teammate Freddie Rasmussen started on the hards as well, boxing at the end of lap 16, and has a good chance of winning this race. So yeah, you can kind of feel it coming already. Our race is gonna be compromised to try and help Freddie to win this race. So we're gonna be continuing to save tires and help Freddie win this race in order to maximize the result in the constructors, because at the moment Alpine is in a 1-2 position. If Freddie wins, then we only lose 8 points. Now, if Freddie doesn't win and finish P3, we lose so many points again. Then Alpine scores 43, Freddie scores 15, and then we might score 1 point. We just lose like 25 points at least, and we cannot afford that. So we're gonna try and help Freddie to win this race. We're one of the last hard runners out on track together with Ruben Pedreno. He's going really long, and even if he boxes at the end of this lap, I think he still has a contention for points. I felt like that was the case for me as well. But yeah, obviously I was told to help Freddie, and it made a lot of sense to do that. So Freddie could try and win this race. He had really good pace, but nonetheless it's so hard to overtake on this track, on this game. So Ruben Pedreno is going to get past us. The Alpines of Otis Lawrence and Danny Bresnay are in a net P1, P2, only 3 seconds behind us. So we're nearly a full pit stop down. So yeah, again, we're not allowed to slow down too much. I think we're allowed to slow down around 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds to what lap time we're doing now, what lap time we're capable of doing now. It's obviously a little bit like, yeah, it depends on your perspective, because if you're saving tires, you're also going to be way off the pace. So is the 1.5 seconds then to when you're saving tires or when you're full push? It's all a little bit difficult, because sometimes people drive 1.5 seconds of the pace purely due to the tire saving. So, end of lap 21. Our tires are pretty cooked, obviously. We've done 21 laps on one of the most tire-consuming tracks on the calendar. But we gotta stay out. And yeah, 2 seconds is the gap now to Otis. I think he's tire saving as well, so he doesn't catch us. And our tires will be very worn by the time he catches us. But we have to stay out in order to try and help Freddie here. You can see he's only 2 tenths behind Danny Bresnay. I'm really saving tires for this section. Not sure if you can call it saving tires or driving on the pace. I guess it's the same. 1.4 seconds as we head over the next DRS detection, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. yeah. Now, I felt like Otis was really slowing down here as well, so he would catch later. And yeah, it made it a little bit difficult. I obviously couldn't just stand still on the track. It's not allowed. You have to stay within a certain percentage. I think on this track it's around 2 seconds, which I'm driving 2 seconds of the pace pretty much at the moment. The tires are completely cooked. You can see he's barely gaining to us, even though his tires are way, way fresher. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait until the S section to hold him up, really. But then Danny Bresnay will be doing the same, of course. I think the way we did it was perhaps not the smartest, but yeah, especially due to the fact that Freddie was given a 5-second penalty for an incident on the pit exit, which I didn't know until after the race, but the penalty was already given before this, so it was a bit frustrating because I think we might have been better off just boxing, and then I could still go for around 2 or 4 points. It sounds really irrelevant, but those 2 or 4 points could be crucial by the end of the championship. And you can see we're really slowing down here to try and force Bresnay further back, and that would give Freddie a better chance. And now I just decided to completely jump out of the way because our race was done. I didn't want to hold anyone further up because what's the point? We might just be compromising ourselves in future races if we do that. Get a grid penalty or extra penalty points, which might turn into a penalty later on. So, end of lap 23, we're boxing 5 laps from the end of the race, and I still want to go flat out to the end because you never know what happens. Remember the 2025 F1 Esports series where there was this huge crash on Jeddah. That can happen again, of course. Of course, there's another street circuit, so it's less likely. But I felt like we just had to keep pushing flat out. To Ruben Pedreno in P15. Now we were with him basically before, and now we're 14 seconds down. So again, we're basically never gonna catch, but I'm still gonna try and catch as much as possible, just in this little off chance we can do something. Lap 25, and we are right behind Julian Klaffenbach. Now, he overtook us on the opening lap on the medium hard strategy. He went absolutely nowhere with that strategy, and now we are gonna go for the move on the next straight. Gap to Ruben Pedreno still 15 seconds, 16 seconds. We obviously got held up a little bit here by Julian. So 16 seconds is the gap with 3.5 laps to go. Ruben has caught up to the train of cars. I think we're actually going to get quite close due to the fact how far the leaders and the top 5 are driving off the pace in this race. And as you can see, at the end of lap 26, 2 laps to go, the gap is suddenly only 12 seconds. We're catching so incredibly fast, but it was obviously not going to be enough, because even if we do catch, then we still have to pass like 6 cars before we get into the points. But maximum attack, we got the fastest lap. It won't do anything. But yeah, we end up 7 seconds short in the end, which is frustrating. Freddie is gonna, I think, drop out the points in the end, or maybe drop to P9. I think he might score like 2 points, and yeah, it's a big blow in the championship. As you can see here, we are now down to P5 in the championship, only on 78 points, 50 points behind P1. And yeah, that's why I decided to play the team game and try and help Freddie, because as soon as turn 1 happened, I kind of realized that the championship is realistically over. We're too far behind in the drivers to have a goal at P1. Not impossible, but very unlikely. And in the constructors, as you can see there, we've lost the lead as well, but it's still a lot closer and a lot more possible. We are 17 points behind, and yeah, today we lost around 40 points. Alpine finished P1 and 2. And yeah, we finished P9 and 0 points. So frustrating, but full focus on the Constructors Championship now. And there's still quite a few people fighting in the drivers, and we can try and use that to our advantage in the team championship, where in the end of the day all the prize money is. So obviously we want to win the drivers, but it's looking quite unlikely now, and all the focus is going to shift to the team championship. I hope you guys enjoyed this race, because I certainly didn't. Very frustrating, but make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.